Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Warm greetings to you from behalf of team DentistChannel.Online. A very good evening to everyone who's watching from various parts of the globe, for someone who's having a good evening and for someone who's having a night in their countries. My name is Ruben Lobo, and on behalf of team DentistChannel.Online, I warmly invite you to the 7th day of the biggest implantology event of 2020. Ladies and gentlemen, we have with us Dr. Kishore Kumar, who's going to talk on the topic, Virtual is the New Ritual. Most of you all know Dr. Kishore Kumar. Dr. Kishore Kumar has been doing a phenomenal job when it comes to dental implantology, when it comes to mentorship, teaching, as well as skills and expertise. Presenting to you, Dr. Kishore Kumar on the topic, Virtual is the New Ritual, Digital Steps in Implantology. Over to you, Dr. Kishore.
Yes, sir. Very good introduction, Mr. Ruben. Today is Sunday. It's 8 o'clock in India. It's very early morning to us, even to me. Okay, so today we are going to cover the topic of virtual is the new ritual. Start implantology in a digital way. So, I am Dr. Kishore Kumar. I finished BDS and MOI in fellowship in digital dentistry. I'm practitioner since 2005 and doing implantology for past 6 years, running Ideal Dental Education Academy since 2018, and I'm now in digital grade fabrication. Why we have to think in digital way? Because telephone changed into mobile phone and currency changed into digital wallet, banking become a digital banking, and ticket booking also become digital, and documents become digital documents, and India, it's become a digital India. So dentistry, why not? Okay. The armamentarium, whatever the thing you have to know, first thing is we have to know the armamentarium required for the, if you want to enter into your digital dentistry means. So these are all the weapons we have to fight. Okay. So first you need an intraoral scanner, and then you need a CBCT and software, printer, 3D printer, and surgical kit. This is a totally different surgical kit for the guided surgery. It's not a normal surgical drills we can't use in the guided surgery. So we have to have a purchase a different kind of surgical kit. And then milling unit, if you can are affordable, you can buy a milling unit also. So welcome to virtual world. So whenever you are entering the new world means you have to understand their terms. Okay. So what are all the terms we are using in your digital dentistry? So first thing is DICOM file. DICOM file means digital imaging and communication in medicine. This is a DICOM file we are getting from the CBCT. So then STL. STL is stereolithographic format. Now they are calling it a standard tessellation language. So this is used to transfer all the intraoral scanner data. So iOS means intraoral scanner, and EOS means extraoral scanner, and CAD means computer-aided design, and CAM means computer-aided machinery. So these are all the terms we have to know. First, we have to enter the digital dentistry. So DICOM, STL, iOS, EOS, and CAD, CAM. So what is open system and closed systems? So closed system means some files are manufactured proprietary, which means it can only be used with their software. So it is closed with their software. So it's a company oriented software. So we can't change the company. So next one is open system. Open system means can be used with third party or multiple software packages. So you can interchange this companies or you can use it for anywhere. It's an open system. So digital workflows. What is the digital workflows means? First you have to think some of the things in your mind before you are entering into the digital workflows. So diagnostics, prosthetic planning, surgical planning, and final process fabrication. These are all the things first you have to in your mind, then you have to go for a digital workflows. So digital workflow means first you have to digital data acquisition, then visual planning and guided surgery for implant placement, and digital impression taking, CAD processes, computer-aided designing processes, and CAM, computer-aided machinery of the process. You have to mill the process. So post-production, crown processing, and then finally delivery of the final restoration. These are all the things we have to do in your digital workflows. So first you have to think about diagnostics, prosthetic plan, surgical plan, from final process fabrication. Then what is digital data acquisition? You have to take a CBCD. Okay, from the CBCD center, you ask the person to send you DICOM files. Okay, there are so many files are available for the CBCD, but you need a DICOM file, which is you can manipulate with the software. It's an open system DICOM file. So you ask the CBCD center person to send the DICOM file to you. Then IOS image, that is intraoral scanning image. Okay, that is you can use Medit or 3Shape. Now so many companies are coming with the intraoral scanner. Okay, you can use, everything is having their own pros and cons. So next, from using the intraoral scanner, you took a STL image. Then facial scan, it's an optional. Facial scan can be, this is a Bellus scan, facial scanner, and this is the output of the. If you have iPhone X and above, means you can use their phone camera itself. You can use it as a face scan. So visual planning. What is two types of softwares are necessary to do the visual planning? So visual implant planning software and then CAD/CAM software. These two softwares are necessary if you go for a digital dentistry. So visual implant planning and CAD/CAM software. So CAD. So CAD means design the process digitally, and CAD design, you can use it as a temporary as well as a permanent process. After implant placement, use scan body to identify the implant type and position of the implant. So CAM means restorations can be additive or subtractive. Additive means 3D printer and sintering. Subtractive means it's a milling unit where you are removing the part and thereby you can getting a process. It is almost like tooth carving. Okay, you remove the excess part of the wax and you get a tooth. The same way you are removing the other parts and you are getting the process. This is, if you having a disc means it is like the, and denture can be milled. Okay, denture can be printed. Printed means you can layer by layer you have to add. Okay, that is additive process. So denture can be additive. You can manufacture in an additive manner, or you can do it in a milling manner also. So whenever you are going for a milling means the process, the machinery itself is so costlier. So nowadays they are more concentrated on the 3D printing concept. So either you are going for a digital or analog. There are three phases are there. One is planning, second one is placement, third one is prosthodontics. These three things you have to consider when you are going for a digital or analog. In a conventional way, planning. Planning means diagnostic cast, wax ups, and radiographic stents. Placement, surgical stents, provisional process, and transitional process. In prosthodontics, stone cast, fabrication of provisional, abutment selection, and final process. These are all the steps we are following in the conventional way. In a digital way, so the importing DICOM files, the planning should be done like this. So first we have to importing the DICOM files and setting the panoramic curve and merging the DICOM and STL files and digital prosthetic position of tooth, implant selection, abutment selection, bone augmentation planning, design the surgical guide and surgery, connect with CAD/CAM software. These are all the things we have to plan. So I just explained all those things in the real world. Okay, so this is this is actually I planned yesterday night. Okay, I started at 10:40 night. So this is the STL file of the intraoral scanner image. Okay, then we just export on a STL file.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, sir.
Your presentation is not shared. Can you share it once again?
So far, you didn't see this screen, huh?
Sir, it is not nothing. That is what. Full screen.
It's almost 50%. So what to do? There are 24% participants are waiting.
Please continue, sir, with the screenshot.
Okay, this is small instruction.
Okay, full screen. Yes. Full
This,
screen.
okay. So why digital? We are having the telephone. Okay, telephone to mobile phone, currency to digital wallet, banking to digital banking, ticket booking, digital documents, digital. Digital India with dentistry. Why not dentistry? Okay, armamentarium required for this. Okay, these are all the armamentarium required for a digital dentistry. Intraoral scanner, CBCT, software, printer, surgical kit. This surgical is totally different from the regular surgical kit. So third one is milling, last one is milling unit. So welcome to the virtual world. So in virtual world, we are using the so many words. That is DICOM file. DICOM file means digital imaging and communication in medicine. STL means stereolithographic format, and IOS means intraoral scanner. EOS means extraoral scanner. CAD means computer aided design. CAM means computer aided machinery. What is open system and closed system? Closed system means some files are manufacturer proprietary, which means it can only used with their software. That is called closed system. And open system means you can use it for any third party softwares. You can interchange their files to the other software also. So digital workflows, whenever you're going for a digital workflows, these are all the things in your mind, okay? The diagnostic, prosthetic planning, surgical planning, and final prosthetic fabrication. So digital workflows will be like this: digital data acquisition, virtual planning, guided surgery for implant placement, digital impression taking, CAD processes, computer designing process, CAM of the process, that means milling, machinery, computer machinery of the process, post-production of the crown processing, and finally delivery of the final restoration. So digital data acquisition means you have to take a digital data acquisition from the CBCT. From CBCT center, you ask the DICOM files. So DICOM files we can manipulate with the software. So second one is IOS image. You can use it any kind of intraoral scanner. Right now I am using the Medit, 3Shape, and so many companies are available. So each and every company have its own pros and cons. So using the intraoral scanner, getting the STL files, and facial scan, it's an optional. Okay, if you have right now we are using the Bellus facial scan. So face scan means if you have their own scanning camera, they are having a Bellus. Or otherwise, if you have an iPhone X or higher iPhone means you can straight away you can use your phone camera. So virtual planning means you need two kind of softwares. One is virtual implant planning, and second one is CAD/CAM. So CAD means you are using the CAD means design the process digitally, can design temporary as well as permanent process. And after implant placement, use the scan body to identify the implant type and position. So CAM can be, the restorations can be a additive and subtractive. Additive means you are adding layer by layer. Okay, so additive, that is 3D printer and sintering, DMLS are additive. You are layer by layer, you are making the process. Milling, subtracting means you are removing the surrounding structures, thereby you are getting the process. That is milling unit. Okay, this is the way they are doing. They just mill the excess product and they will get a product. So zirconia and denture can be a milled one or prosthetic printed one. Milling unit nowadays is relatively costlier than a printed one. So all the materials are coming towards the printed process. Okay. So either digital or analog. You have to three things you have to think. One is planning and implant placement and prosthodontics. Planning means in a conventional way, The planning should be diagnostic cost, wax up, radiographic stent and placement, surgical stents, provisional process and transitional process, and prosthodontics, stone cost, fabrication of provisional, abutment selection, final process. In a digital way, planning, you have to import the DICOM files and setting the panoramic curve, merging the DICOM and STL files, digital prosthetic position of tooth, implant selection, abutment selection, and bone augmentation planning, design the surgical guide, surgery, and connect with CAD/CAM software. These are all the things come under planning. So first I have some, yesterday I did one case, surgical guide, okay. I started at 10:50, okay. This is the interval scan image of the patient. We just export that, okay. And then this is the Blue Sky plan. There are so many softwares available. I'm using Blue Sky plan, okay. So Blue Sky plan, you just go for import the CT files, okay. This is CBCT, and you have to import all the CBCTs, and you have to adjust the panoramic curves, okay. Then you have to import the STL file of the patient from your computer, and this is the STL file. Okay. Once you import the STL file, means you can either manually or automatically you get a merge with your CBCT DICOM files. This is STL file. This is OPJ. Actually, STL is more gray in color, so there is no color. There is a black and white one. So for visual appearance, I add this in a OPG format. So if you check the merge with this 360-degree rotation, okay, where you have to check the soft tissue merge and as well as the hard tissue merge. Everything is perfect. So this is the way you have to check, and then you have to prosthetically driven implantology. So you have to do a crown down technique or reverse engineering, you can call it anyway. So you add the tooth digitally, you are adding the tooth, okay. Then you are placing the implant virtually in a CBCT, okay. Then check all the 360-degree whether it is surrounded by the bone or any other anatomic structure is disturbing or anything. Then you check, see the parallelism. Within a click, you can get the parallelism of each and every implant. That is very easy. Check it everywhere, and then you design the guide. This is the guide, and you just export this STL file of the guide, and you can print it on your printer. That is the plan. So now you can easily understand importing the DICOM files, setting the panoramic curve, merging the DICOM and STL files, digital prosthetic position of the virtual teeth, and then implant selection, abutment selection, bone augmentation. If it is necessary, you can plan the bone augmentation, and design the surgical guide and surgery, connect with CAD/CAM software. Bone augmentation. Initially, I too thought that is a guided surgery is the substitute for a bone augmentation procedure. No, it is not like that. The guided surgery is mainly for the ideal 3D position of your implant. Okay, it is not a substitute for your bone augmentation. Bone augmentation, even the case which need a bone augmentation also, you have to use the surgical guide and place the implant and do the grafting. Okay, so this is not a substitute for your bone augmentation. Initially, I thought like that. So face scan, there are three types of face scans are available: laser scanning, structure light, and digital camera system. So another one is dynamic facial scanning. That is dynamic facial scanner. It's almost like a videos where you can see the patient can smile or everything, means you can digitally record that video and use it in your software. Shortcomings. Some of the shortcomings are there with the facial scans. Okay, difficulty in superimposition, because you have some hint from the your one image to the other image, either DICOM to STL or face scan to STL or STL to DICOM. Everything you need some structures to superimpose each other. So difficulty in superimposition. So you have to expose the patient teeth. Thereby you can merge the teeth of the facial scan and intraoral scan as well as your DICOM files. So all these things you can use your patient's teeth That way you can easily merge because teeth will appear in all these three things. So you can easily merge. So edentulous patient, it is difficult because they don't have the teeth. Okay, in those situations, you use the mini implants, place the implant on the patient's mouth, and you can use it as a reference. Digital workflows, clinical planning. First, we have to planning. What are all the digital workflows for planning? So technology is there, technique is there. Technology is a weapon, technique is an execution. Okay. So technology, what are the technology we have to use for the clinical planning? Digital health records, digital radiology, CBCT, intraoral scanning, extraoral scanning, and planning software. Technique means management of digital files, digital wax-up, stereolithographic model, 3D printer, or you can mill the model, design the surgical guide. Then surgical phase, what are the technology you are using and techniques. Okay, technology what we are using the surgical phase, intraoral operative radiography. Okay, during the surgical phase we are taking the radiographs. Okay, either radiograph or CBCT. The techniques are visual implant planning and proposed surgical protocol. So in prosthodontics, so technology, what are the technology we are using? Intraoral scanning and CAD/CAM. Techniques, scan data to CAD system, computer designing, and milling of implant restoration and abutments. So the surgical guided implant surgery can be a dynamic system or a static system. Okay, dynamic system means the name itself suggests it's a dynamic system. During the surgery also, you can change your uh, direction of your drills and implants. Okay, at the same time, you can visualize the drill position in 3D. Okay, for example, Navident. So now mostly we are using the static systems. Okay, that is guided surgery. Guided surgery can be a bone supported or tooth supported or mucosa supported, fixed supported. That is, you can use the mini implants as a support. So, and another type is pilot guide. Pilot guide means you are using only 2 mm drill. Okay, where you can just you place this guide on the patient's mouth and you just use a 2 mm twist drill and you just remove the surgical stent and you are going with the freehand surgery. So that is pilot guide. But what I suggest is always go for a fully gated surgery. That means each and everything from first drill to final implant placement you are using through the guide sleeve. So that is called fully guided system. It can be a tooth supported, mucosa supported, or bone supported. So this is the fully guided kit of Dentium. Each and every company has a this kind of guide kit. I'm using the Dentium, so I share this. So limitations. Each and every guides, surgical guide have its own limitations. Okay. So bone supported guide means here we raise the flap. Okay, and guide should be placed directly on the bone. Large mucoperiosteal flap should be raised. Okay, and lower the occlusion because chances of distortion of 3D image can be happen. So bone supported is the um, least accurate one. So limitations of tooth supported surgical guide means CBCT IOS images are merged. Deviation can happen when patient move. Okay, sometimes the patient will move while taking the CBCT because they are afraid of that machine rotating around their head means sometimes they may shake their head. So this can happen. Okay. For mucosa supported means double scan technique can be used. Double scan technique means mucosa supported where we can use the mucosa supported. For completely edentulous patients, we are using the mucosa supported. What is double scan technique? Double scan technique means you have to fabricate a denture. In the denture, you have to add some radiographic markers. So ask the patient to put that radiographic denture in the patient's mouth and take a CBCT. Okay, and then you have to take a CBCT of the denture alone. Okay, that is dual scan technique or double scan technique. And position rely on thickness of mucosa and resilience of. If it is flabby mucosa means it is very difficult to seat your perfectly. You can't seat your mucosa supported surgical guides. So fixed supported means you have to pre-install your mini implants on the patient's mouth, and intrasurgically placed transmucosal pins also can be used. So key takeaways: bone supported guides are less accuracy than tooth and mucosa supported guides. Main cause of inaccuracy in CBCT is FOV, number of projections, acquisition and exposure, image reconstruction algorithms can all influence the outcome. And fully edentulous case having less accuracy than a partial edentulous because they are having the tooth. Okay, you can use the tooth as a reference point. Patients because of lack of reference point in edentulous patients. And follow a year scanning protocol. Each and every company have their own protocol to scan how you have to scan the intraoral. So you have to follow this protocol. And final thought, use guided surgery techniques with caution. Always get certain level of experience in conventional surgery and prosthetic procedure before entering the guided surgery. So future developments improve accuracy and precision. CBCT companies focusing on higher quality images with lower radiation. MRI technology gives more precise data. Ultrasonography can be used for IOS faster ease of use and accuracy. For full mouth process still need improvement. These are all the future developments. So this is a case report. I share two cases. Okay, this is a case report. First, you have to take a pre-op photographs, and this is the intraoral scan of the image, and you just merge this file, and visually we place the tooth. Okay, add the tooth, and perfectly it's placed, and then you plan the implant. Okay, then you design the guide, and this is the 3D printer. Once you print out this guide, then you have to wash it with isopropyl alcohol. Then you have to put it in your UV chamber, add the guide sleeves, and put it like this. Okay, this is the end result of the guide. So this is the dentium guide skills. So each and every company has its own numbers. Okay, you have to mention, you have to note all those things because you have to set while you are fabricating your surgical guides. Okay, so it depends upon that you have to design this width of the sleeves and height of the offset. So this is the way we are doing. Okay, I always raise the flap. So I raise the flap and see the bone, and this is the fractured tooth segment, and remove that. I use the surgical guide and place the implant, and this is the socket shield. This is the implant. The flat surface is facing the labially, so we can check the mucosa height. Okay, almost it's a 3.5 mm. Okay, then I add the healing abutment and gave the temporary process. After healing, this is after removing this healing abutment. This is the after healing. This looks like that. Then I modify this soft tissue by adding the temporary process, and then I modify this emergence profile. And then this is a shade matching I took. This is the final impression. I use this in the intraoral scanner. In intraoral scanner, you can easily record all this emergence profile easily. Or otherwise, conventional way, you have to add the impression post, and you have to either you have to use composite or pattern resin, and then you have to polish and everything you have to do. But here, you just take it within 2 minutes you finish, because this once you remove this temporary means this soft tissue will collapse easily. So immediately you can take the this emergence profile by using the intraoral scanner very easily. Within 1 or 2 minutes you can finish that. Okay, this is how we can take the emergence profile. And then we are adding this is called scan body. So scan body, you are adding each and every company have its unique scan body, so buy their own scan body, and you place it in the patient's mouth and you just scan again. Okay, then send all the data to the lab. This is the CAD. Okay, where they are designing everything. Okay, in digitally. Okay, and they check the margin and everything up to screw up the swole and everything. Okay, then they design. This is what they are doing the CAD software. So next case is case report 2. So this is this is all on 4 case. Okay, this is the condition they came. Okay, so we remove this all this tooth, and digitally we can remove these tooth digitally also. Okay, so we remove this tooth and we fabricate this guide. Same way we are using the DICOM files, intraoral scanning image, and making the stents. Okay, this is the planned implant position. Okay, this is the guide we are placing in the patient's mouth. raise the flap because this patient is having so much of granular tissues over there. So we remove everything and we place the surgical guide. This is the autogenous bone graft we took from the ramus, and this is the PRF. We add everything into the bone defect area, and this is we closed. After that, we place the scan body, intraoral scan body. We took the impression in the same way. So this scan body is different from your regular scan body. This is for the multi-unit scan body. And then you will transfer all these data to the lab where they design everything. Okay, once you got approved from you, then they will fabricate everything, and this is the final process. Okay, so that's the end. Thank you. Your digital journey, I hope, starts now. This is my number and this is my email ID. This is my academy name. So please note it. In case of any doubt, please ask me.
All right, it's now time for us to start with the question and answer session. We start with the first question. What is your take on irrigation scenario while preparing osteotomy using a mucosal guide?
Yes, mucosal guide means you have to use the stabilizing pins first, okay? Then you have to use the mucosal supported guide. If you go for an irrigation scenario means you can't straight away use the drill, okay? You have to use in a pumping motion. Then only your irrigation will go inside the osteotomy. So you have to use in a pumping motion. You should not use in a single stroke.
Thank you so much, sir. Next question. If the 12 millimeter is the desired length of the implant, how much length will it present in the surgical drill?
Yes, it is depends upon company specific because of their offset is different. In Dentium, they are having 9.8 plus your 12 means that is 12 plus 9.8. It's almost 21. Okay, so you have to drill like that, but you should not use your conventional drill for a guided surgery. Okay, that is specifically designed for a surgical kit for a guided surgery. You have to use that.
Thank you so much, sir. We move to the next question. What is the approximate cost to turn your clinic into a digital setup?
If you think about digital means, it is actually it is like ocean. You have to infuse all your money and you have to get a bank loan and everything, okay, because it is a very big project. Okay, you have to what I suggest is you have to invest gradually. Okay, first thing you have to buy is intraoral scanner, because intraoral scanner multiple ways it can be used. Okay, it can be used for your regular crown and bridge, you can use for the smile designing, you can use it for implantology or everything. First thing you have to buy intraoral scanner. Intraoral scanner, there are so much of companies are available. At least you have to spend for 10 lakhs for the intraoral scanner, then only you get some good scanners. Or if you have more bank balance means you can go for a 20 lakhs or 25 lakhs, 30 lakhs scanner also there. Then you have to buy a 3D printer. Okay, because each and everything is you have to communicate with the lab is somewhat difficult. Okay, because the lab person is busy with one time and you are busy with patient with one time, so it is very difficult to communicate with each other. So second thing is you have to purchase your 3D printer, and third, next way of investment you have to go for a either if you have a CBCT center means nearby center means you don't need to invest. Okay, if you don't have any CBCT center near me, next thing is you have to buy a CBCT and then you can go for a milling. Milling means because the better products are coming with the 3D printing itself. So milling we can leave it for a lab persons. Okay, because you investing such a huge amount around 30 to 40 lakhs you have to invest for a milling unit. That is huge amount for a practitioner.
Thank you so much, sir. Very common question that I've received. As a beginner, where should I start?
Okay, you have to start with your freehand surgery with adequate bone cases. Okay, you should day one you should not start with a defective case. Okay, you have to do a very good available bone case with a freehand surgery. Then only you should know how the bone is feeling. Okay, then you know what what all the things are there, what are all the things you have to consider and everything. Once you get adequate amount of experience with your freehand surgery, then go for a guided surgery. Because in case of any errors or sometimes this guide can be a break during the surgery itself. At those situation, you have to manage yourself. Okay, so for that you have to know first the conventional way. Because if you want to ride your bike means you have to at least try to ride your bicycle, then only you can do that. Okay, so beginner means you have to start. In case you have a very good seniors or anything, any friends are there means you get a support from there and use in front of them you just put some of the implant, then you can practice yourself.
Thank you so much, sir. Next question, once again, very common question. As a beginner, from which implant system should I start?
This is a tricky question. Okay, you can use any system, but you have to choose a system which is having all the components, all the prosthetic availability, all the future developments. You have to like that. Okay, because you should select a system which is available worldwide. Because the patient will travel anywhere. Okay, then only they can manage. You have to use some. At least you have to use some good companies. Okay, they should have all the prosthetic components with including digital. That is my humble request to all the participants. Because most of them they just purchasing as usual, they searching for the cheap implants and everything, and they put it in the patient mode. In case of any prosthetic problem happens after 3 years 4 years means the company will wind up. Okay, you will struggle with your patient. So always go with some genuine companies.
Thank you so much, sir. Next question. What equipments, machinery, devices are required for a beginner implantologist?
Beginner implantologist means you first need implant and physio dispenser and surgical kit. First, you need that. Take a case which is having adequate bone. You just start with that, and then you slowly you have to first 10 cases you do with a very good bone cases. Then you have to put some grafted cases and then go for like that. Okay, this is the way. First thing you have to buy a physio dispenser and surgical kit. Implants you should not buy one implant, two implant. At least you purchase for 20 to 30 implants, then only you can immediately place the implant to the patient more. Otherwise you have to purchase one implant, two implant means it is difficult to each and every time you get a size of implant or everything. Okay, so at least you have to have some adequate stocks in your inventory.
Thank you very much, sir. Adaptation tips in adapting surgical guides as you have suggested to elevate the flaps. Can you please give some insight?
Okay, what surgical guide means, most of the persons thinks you have to go for a flapless. It is not like that. You can use it, you can raise the flap and see the bone and place the guide, and because it is, if it is a tooth supported guide means, in case it is tissue supported means it is very difficult. Then if you raise the flap means it is become a bone supported guide. So in case of tooth supported guide means always I raise the flap and see the bone, because we have to visualize the bone and everything. In case of any grafting means you can easily graft it. Okay, so surgical guide means you can go for a flapless also, but what I suggest is always raise the flap and see the bone and do. Nothing wrong in that.
Thank you very much, sir. I think we have to come to the very important question now. Dr. Kishore, tell us about your beginner level implantology course.
uh, Soon, DentistChannel.Online will conduct all those things. Okay, we are in talk with the DentistChannel.Online. We are going to with 6 sessions for beginners. Okay, it will be definitely useful for a beginner. Soon we will announce the date and everything.
Thank you, doctor. We move to the next question. As a beginner, what are the chances that failure rate might be severe? If yes, what do I do? Should I go to restore it myself, or should I take the advice of a senior implantologist?
So first thing is the implantology means it is not, you can't learn with a 1 hour lecture, 2 hour lecture or 3 hour lecture. You have to study a lot. Okay, you have to get the books. There are so many standard books are available. You have to buy the book and read the book. okay, because even the world best mentor also, they can't cover all the 360 degree of everything in their 1 hour or 2 hour lecture, or they can't even teach in your um, in beginner class itself, because you have to read, you have to buy the book, you have to read and then implement. First thing you have to do initially, you just get a case, okay, you just read the topic according to that case, okay, then it will be very useful, then you implement on the patient, means it will be very successful and it will be easy. If you have a very good senior supporting you, means you get no wrong in that, you get a idea from that.
Thank you very much. So, friends, once again, before we move to the next question, very proudly, I would like to tell you that very soon, DentistChannel.Online, in collaboration with the person himself, Dr. Kishore Kumar, we will be conducting a online course for beginner level implantology, because we've got thousands of comments since the very first day of the expo as to, sir, we are very new to implantology, we are very passionate about implantology, but we don't know how to take the steps and which is the right step. So ladies and gentlemen, let me proudly tell you that for you to take the right step, I request you to kindly email us on info@dentistchannel.online. We would be sending you a brochure soon. We have still not prepared one. We are still in talks with the modules and the international certification. There will be an international certification for the expo as well. So please do stay in touch with us at info@dentistchannel.online. Dr. Kishore Kumar himself, who is the course conductor, he will be the one who will curate the course, and he would be the one who would be interacting with you live. So if you are interested to learn beginner level implantology, of course, it would be our pleasure to host you. Please do stay in touch at info@dentistchannel.online. I have put the email ID in the chat box. Please make sure that you are noting it down, or you're taking a screenshot or a photograph. We move to the next question. Wow, it's a very controversy question, but let's try to cover it. Which
Yes,
country best? Which country is the best demanding when it comes to dental implant course? High rate of patient income in clinic. In India, demand is so much nowadays or not?
I don't think so, still it is there.
Definitely, Dr. Kaustuv. I think India is one of those biggest markets, and it is said, as per statistics, in every 1 minute there are 5 implants being placed somewhere in India. So you could be one of those, and we hope that you are one of those. Friends, if you have any more questions, please feel free to post them in the Q&A box. All right, very good question. Should I start as a beginner with conventional implantology or immediate functional loading implantology like cortical basal implants?
Always go for a conventional implantology. Whenever it is not at all possible, you should first learn about surgical procedures of grafting and everything. If the grafting and everything is failed, means then you can go for a basal. Basal is not, according to me, basal is not my first choice. Earlier it was there, but once you learn grafting procedures, soft tissues and everything, means almost only 1 or 2% cases are needed basal implants. According to me, it's my opinion.
Thank you so much, sir. Wow, it's a very beautiful question, and I'm sure we should cover this. What is the kind of patient consent we should take when we are placing implants at a beginner level? What
That
if
is a
an implant as a beginner level is failing? How do we convince the patient, and what do we do? I think it's a very good question, so you can answer it in brief.
yes. So even if you are a beginner or advanced practitioner, or maybe whoever may be, okay, so you get a consent, okay, there is no second thought in that, get a consent, okay, and please think, everybody has their own failures also, okay, but some of the people are dare to share their failures, okay. The initial means, first thing, uh, you have to explain the patient why it is failed, means you have to acknowledge all those things to the patient. And mostly most of the companies, okay, you taken back your implants and they will replace with a new one, so no need to worry. What I am talking, it's the conventional implant. They always change with your new implant. So ask, tell the patient, okay, somewhere it is going wrong, it may be your body condition or something, okay, so again we will put a new implant, you don't pay anything, we just replace with the failed implant. That is the reason I always advise the implant system which is having more than 98% success rate, you have to follow, okay. Or otherwise, if it is failure of 20%, 10%, it's not 20%, 10% means that kind of system you should not use, because in case that happens, what will happen, you what you generate the income from the 90% of patient, you will lose that for 10% of patients, okay. So the system which is having 98% success means only 2% is failure will be there, means the first thing is, first we have to recheck ourselves, what are all the uh, things we go wrong with the patient, because we know, or otherwise, that is the reason I always advise, please document everything, okay. Then only you can remember what are all the things you've done, what are all the wrong things you've done, why it is failed, and everything you can easily note it with your surgical failure or prosthetic failure. So please document. That is the one, from you day one itself you have to start with your documentation. That is very important. That will self says what is, where you are going wrong, okay. In case of failure means no need to ask the patient to pay, you just repeat the implant, okay. You only you put your effort, that's it. So, most of the patients are convinced with that way. Only thing is, you are asking again, you are asking money for that implant, means that patient will scold you.
Certainly, and I believe that that's not the right practice of asking patient the amount back once the implant is failed, because if the implant is failing, it's not the patient's fault. The patients come for fixed teeth and not for implants. Friends, I think that was a lovely answer. Dr. Kishore definitely deserves a round of applause. But before that, we'll try to cover the last question. Very good question. It's controversial question once again. Is there a scope for ceramic implants in India? And if so, which company do you suggest? Approximate cost of ceramic implants.
Ceramic implants itself is a controversial implant, okay. I don't think it is not necessary. You don't need to justify this for ceramic implants. The only advantage is you can use it in your aesthetic areas. So ceramic implants, yes, it is costlier. So in case if it is means, yes, most of the companies having the ceramic implants in their abroad portfolio, but in India, the Straumann having this ceramic implants. So you can go with that also. But I didn't have any experience with the ceramic implants, frankly.